all knowledge, and will reach the knowledge of all modes. Skill in means, the first assistance. A. Skill in means. Subhuti. Will not bodhisattvas, who have newly set out in the vehicle, become cowed, stolid and regretful when they hear this exposition? Will they not tremble, be frightened, be terrified? The Lord. They will tremble, etc. If, newly set out in the vehicle, they course in perfect wisdom while still unskilled in means, or if they have not got into the hands of a good spiritual friend. Subhuti. What is of a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, the skill in means which allows him not to be afraid? The Lord. Here a bodhisattva, by means of a thought associated with the knowledge of all modes, contemplates form as impermanent, ill, etc. 2. Wish less, and so also the other Skandhas, and yet he does not apprehend any real fact. This should be known as the skill and means of a bodhisattva who courses in perfect wisdom. Furthermore, a bodhisattva, through attentions associated with the knowledge of all modes, carries out the demonstration of Dharma, without taking anything as a basis. This is his perfection of giving. His perfection of morality consists in the fact that he remains untarnished by those very attentions. His perfection of patience in the ability to endure those very attentions, his willingness to find pleasure in them, his ability to contemplate them. His perfection of vigor in the non-abandonment of those very attentions. His perfection of concentration in that he gives no opportunity to attentions associated with disciples or pratyekabuddhas, or to any other unwholesome dharmas. It is thus that a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, will remain unafraid. Furthermore, a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, contemplates the fact that form, etc., is not empty of the emptiness of form, etc., but that form, etc., is just emptiness, and the very emptiness is just form, etc. This is a bodhisattva's perfection of wisdom. It is thus that a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, will remain unafraid. The good spiritual friend, the second assistance. B. The good friend. Subhuti. Who then are a bodhisattva's good friends, with whose help, when they have got hold of him, he will remain unafraid on hearing this exposition of perfect wisdom. The Lord. Were the good friends of a bodhisattva those who demonstrate to him the Dharma that form, etc., is impermanent, etc., without taking anything as a basis. He does not, however, dedicate the wholesome roots which he gains from such teachings to the level of a disciple or pratyekabuddha, but to nothing else than to the knowledge of all modes. These are a bodhisattva's good friends who help him to remain unafraid. Subhuti. How does it come about that a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, becomes unskilled in means, get into the hands of the bad friend, and becomes afraid when he has heard this exposition of the perfection of wisdom? The Lord. Here a bodhisattva, having left behind the attentions associated with the knowledge of all modes, develops the perfection of wisdom, gets at it, and fancies himself for it. And so for the other perfections. And again a bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, leaves behind the attentions associated with the knowledge of all modes, and then he attends to the fact that form, etc., is empty of a subject, and so for all the 18 kinds of emptiness, but gets at that emptiness, puts his mind to it, as a result of assuming an objective basis. Subhuti. How does it come about that a bodhisattva is being taken hold of by a bad friend, and that is consequence he becomes afraid when he hears this exposition of perfect wisdom? The Lord. Here a bodhisattva is dissuaded from perfect wisdom by such words as, one should not train in that. This has not been taught by the Tathagatas, it is mere poetry made by poets, and one should not listen to it, learn or study, bear it in mind, preach it, attend to it or demonstrate it to others. This is what bad friends do to a bodhisattva. Furthermore, someone is a bad friend to a bodhisattva if he does not point out to him the deeds of Mara, does not describe to him the faults of Mara. Here Mara, the evil one, approaches the bodhisattva in the guise of a Buddha and dissuades him from the 6 perfections, with the words, "What for do you, son of good family, develop the perfection of wisdom, and the other perfections?" Or Mara, the evil one, will, in the guise of the Buddha, expound, reveal, analyze, amplify and illuminate the scriptures associated with the level of a disciple, i.e. the discourses in prose and verse mingled, predictions, verses, summaries, origins, thus was said, birth stories, expanded texts, marvels, tales, and expositions. Or Mara, the evil one, may approach the bodhisattva and say, "You, son of good family, have never had the thought of enlightenment, nor are you irreversible. Nor will you be able to know full enlightenment." Or Mara, the evil one, may approach the bodhisattva in the guise of the Buddha and say to him, "The I, son of good family, the ear and everything up to the Buddha dharmas, all this is empty of self and of what belongs to a self. What can you possibly do to know full enlightenment?" Or Mara, the evil one, may approach the bodhisattva in the guise of a pratyeka Buddha and say to him, "Empty, O son of good family, is each of the 10 directions of Buddhas and lords, of bodhisattvas and disciples, and it contains no Buddha, and no enlightenment, no bodhisattva, and no disciple." Or Mara, the evil one, approaches the bodhisattva in the guise of a disciple, dissuades him from attentions associated with the knowledge of all modes and admonishes him in attentions associated with the disciples and pratyeka Buddhas. Or Mara, the evil one, may in the guise of his preceptor or teacher dissuade the bodhisattva from the course of a bodhisattva and from the attentions associated with the knowledge of all modes. With regard to the applications of mindfulness, the right efforts, etc. 2. The paths, with regard to the empty, the sign-less, and the wish-less, he will enjoin that, after you have realized these dharmas, you should realize the level of a disciple. What is there for you in knowing the utmost, right, and perfect enlightenment? Or Mara, the evil one, may approach the bodhisattva in the guise of his father or mother and say to him, "Come on, son of good family, make efforts to win the realization of the fruit of a stream winner," etc. 2. The fruit of an arhat. What is there for you in knowing full enlightenment, if for the sake of it you must, for countless eons, wander about in samsara, and experience the cutting off of hands and feet? Or, finally, Mara, the evil one, may approach the bodhisattva in the guise of a monk and demonstrate to him that form is impermanent, ill, not the self, and so for all the dharmas up to the Buddha dharmas, but while assuming an objective basis. One who does not point out or describe such deeds of Mara, he should be known as a bad friend, and, once recognized as such, should be shunned. End chapter 10.